And I think the greatest thing that my partner honestly does that really helps someone who is a former avoidant, if you just do those two things, you don't know how much that can calm somebody's fear. Let me come on here and give my own personal dating experiences and how the person that I'm with, how he's been able to date me. I am Vee Mindful, and I am someone who has suffered from having an avoidant attachment style for several years. Mine did not come from childhood. I go over that in another video. Mine came from loss of trust and major trauma in my marriage. I was already highly independent, and then when all that trauma happened, it hardened me. Even going through all that, am I fully secure? No. Just like someone who is a former alcoholic, these are things that you constantly have to work at. So I constantly always have to work at regulating my emotions, accepting and embracing love. So I do have a secure attachment style now, but I will sit here and tell you, there are triggers that go out that lurk and will trigger you back to whatever attachment style you came from. If it was an insecure attachment style, just like if you are anxiously attached, you could have emotional triggers. How I've been able to truly get to this point to where I'm in a healthy, happy, thriving, monogamous, exclusive relationship with my partner. About 5 years ago, I invested into myself. I invested into getting professional help. When I was going on all those dates, a couple hundred dates, I had no idea that something was off until, I honestly had cues, but I didn't know. If you notice that they have issues with intimacy, someone coming too close into their space, or them pushing people away to create the space, they may have some type of trauma there. I am not a therapist and I'm not here to diagnose, but pay attention to how you respond if that's you, or how your partner responds. Do avoidantly attached people need space? Yes, I needed my space. I needed a lot of space. But I didn't disappear for, I know I addressed that in the last video, but I didn't disappear for months. I could legit see somebody 3 days a week and I was okay. And I've always said that if I get married again, I don't need to live with that person. And I honestly still stand beside that. I don't need to see somebody every day. Based off of going on all those dates and having intimacy issues, like not allowing people into my space, like I said, I finally invested into myself and I got the help. I started to get really clear as to who I was and who I was choosing to be, how I was showing up. Before I honestly started going out here and really truly dating, because this was about the time that the world started to shut down too. So to my benefit, because nobody was getting out here and dating, I was working on myself during that time. I didn't have to worry about people coming into my space. Only thing I had to focus on was genuinely trying to create friendships. The thing that really helped me in my journey was me spending more time with myself. You don't need the world to shut down in order to do that. Going through all that, and again, meeting with my coach every week, I started mentally preparing myself to be like, okay, what is it like to have somebody in my space? What are my boundaries? Do I want to see somebody every day? What kind of man would I want to date? So as I got to know men, dating, everybody was on dating apps during the world shutdown time period. Everybody was on dating apps. I looked at people who lived a certain lifestyle, and I was very cautious, not people who were emotionally unavailable. That would have been the old me before I started working on myself. I made sure I was looking at people who exhibited that they were ready for some type of relationship and that they have been in relationships, long-standing relationships before. I was very clear on what I wanted. Okay, and again, you don't have to voice and tell everybody, well, I ain't gonna do this, I'm not gonna accept this, I'm not gonna tolerate that. You don't have, trust and believe, you don't have to do any of that. You don't have to communicate that to anybody. And I started practicing. So then when 2021 came around and we started to go out just a little bit more, I did start going on dates. Yep, I did. I started dating somebody, and I noticed a couple of things about this person, even though we got along so great. I started recognizing myself in this person. Yep, I noticed that he exhibited avoidant attachment style issues. and I immediately cut it off. There was no big blow up. There was no big fight. I immediately recognized that this person, he's not on his healing journey. I am. And then I meet the person that I'm with. We have a great first conversation, right? Like anybody probably using dating apps. I did meet him on a dating app. Right when we started talking, I just came back from Maui by myself, and he had just come back from out of the country. We chatted, and he said, you know what? I could tell you that you're pretty adventurous. And I was like, okay. And this is chatting after a couple of times. And we hadn't met yet. We had not met. We met on a dating app. We had not met in person yet. Y'all know how that goes, right? Y'all know how that goes. He says, well, if you're pretty adventurous, I would love for you to fly out to see me. I'm going to be in such and such. It's about an hour and a half flight. I'll be here. I would love for you to come meet me in person, and then I will fly you home. And I said, fly me home? Okay, I'm thinking he's going to buy me an airplane ticket, right? I said, okay. I said, sure, why not, right? Why not? My girlfriends were like, you tripping? You better not. Go watch my other videos when I talk about dating for traveling and dating, okay? Neither one of us lived in this city, okay? We didn't even live in this state. We talked on the phone for over 4 hours, and I did fly out to see him. Yes, I did. And he did fly me back in his private plane. He flew me back, and we've been together ever since. So we've been together almost 3 years, and we've taken 46 vacations together in the last 3 years. How have we managed to stay together? Because there have been many times when I was like, you know what? My avoidant attachment style will say, time out, getting too close. Okay, I'm getting too bothered. This is impacting my emotional well-being. I've had that a couple of times. And what has happened from that? He has been able to reel me back in. I think if you are dating somebody who has an avoidant attachment style, one, they have to be willing to get the help. If they're not already working on themselves to try to get back to secure, you're fighting a losing battle. You can't change something that they don't even see. They have to be able to see it. They have to be able to understand, like, okay, something's wrong with me. I'm not in the loving type of relationships that I would like to be in. So let me work on that. They have to themselves recognize that. If they don't recognize that, you are fighting a losing battle. Remember, I started working on myself, so I had recognized it. Again, I meet with my coach every single week, and I'm working through my issues. I constantly have to self-regulate my emotions, because sometimes when things trigger me, I go right into my avoidant tailspin, where I'm like, no, this danger. This ain't gonna work for me. Many times I have done this. He has fought for us. And I appreciate that, because he knows that I have struggled to get to this point, to get to a point to where I'm like, okay, I'm open. I can sit here and tell you I love you. I genuinely want to be with you. You are somebody worth pursuing. I would have never been in this position with somebody had I not started working on myself before I met him. Because if I would have met him while I was still in my messed up phase, I would not have been able to recognize him. He would have been just like all those other 200 men that I had gone out with. The unhealed Vee. The unhealed Vee thought it was everybody else. He sat up too straight. I actually didn't go on a date with this guy again, because he sat up like this on a date. I was like, how do you sit up so straight on a date? And I think the greatest thing that my partner honestly does that really helps someone who is a former avoidant, we established that very early on, that we would be consistent. I let him know very early on, I need consistency. Because if you don't show me consistency, I am quick to check out. I'd be like, okay, this ain't for me, and I'm gone. Just like if you have an anxious attachment style, and if someone's not being consistent with you, it's going to trigger you, and it's going to trigger your anxiety. You're going to start questioning, second guessing everything. You're going to think this, your mind is going to start to wander. So if you're dating someone who has an insecure attachment style, the best thing you can do for that person is to show up consistently. Be consistent in your communication, in your actions. Be intentional and be consistent. Let that person know that you are in their corner, that you are here. Not here like I'm going to wait for you for 5 months and be here when you get back. Hell no. I'm not saying that at all. Please don't do that. No, what I'm saying is let that person know that I'm here for you, that I'm in your corner, that I want to be with you. I'm genuinely interested in being with you. And I think if you're dating somebody who has an avoidant attachment style, who again is somebody who wants to work on it, if you just do those two things, you don't know how much that can calm somebody's fear. It really does. It really helps me be at ease, that where I'm not just up here and I'm not, because when you know that you have issues with an avoidant attachment style, you fear rejection. So pouring out my heart to somebody and for them to not show up consistently, not to be intentional, is going to trigger the out of me. And that even goes for someone who's anxiously attached, calming their anxieties, because at the root of them is also fear. Those are the two biggest things that I could possibly tell anybody. If your person if your person is showing you interest, if your avoidantly attached person is showing you interest, and they're showing you that they actually want to get to know you, and you want to get to know them, the best two things you can do is to reciprocate, show the interest, and be consistent. Y'all, it's as simple as that. That's why when you see these videos, you see these help videos, and to work on yourself is imperative, because I don't care who comes across your timeline, your feed, your swiping left and right. Y'all, if you don't start working on yourself, you're not going to be able to recognize what healthy love even looks like. So this person that I'm with came at a great time for me. I manifested him, but I only manifested him because I started working on myself. I realized that I was pushing everybody away from me. I didn't want to be like that anymore. So whether you are anxiously attached, avoidantly attached, or if you have a disorganized attachment style, y'all start working on yourselves, because that's where the true transformation begins. Stop putting the focus on external circumstances. Start taking accountability for you. The only person you can control is you. You can, oh, if only he would, if only she would. If you stay in that mindset that is always, let's just wait for that person to change, y'all, it ain't never going to happen. I'm telling you right now, it is never going to happen. The only person you can control is you. Learn how to set your standards and your boundaries. Get out here and meet people who align with you in your standards. Stop dating people that ain't for you. It is highly possible to be in a stable, loving relationship with somebody who is anxiously attached or avoidantly attached. It is 100% possible, and I'm a living testament to that. I'm sitting here telling you it's possible, but you got to want to put in the work. I want to be very clear. Putting in the work don't mean stay around forever and ever and put up with any old bullshit. Please, that is not what I'm saying. Don't just put up with any old thing and somebody calls it love. Love is not supposed to hurt like that. Love is not rejection. It's not. This is the first time to my channel, y'all. I am Vee Mindful. I'm a relationship coach and published author, as well as a public speaker. And here we talk about everything related to relationships. Y'all, till next time, y'all take care of yourselves.